It takes a few seconds to get logged in a website, turn on a TV, have a look at the newspaper headlines, and the whole world appears spectacularly before you. Experts say we are so much exposed to images of a harsh reality everywhere in the world that we remain apathetic to the most appalling events of human history. Do you believe it's true? There are photos permanently ingrained in my mind. Here are some facts. Sudan, 1993. Famine spreads death in the southern part of the country. Civil war, homelessness, and diseases lead thousands of people to starvation. And here comes this picture, the vulture and the child. The photographer, Kevin Carter, who snapped this haunting photo, won the Pulitzer Prize. But a few months later, he committed suicide. Questions. What happened to the child? Was she saved? Did the vulture attack? Why did the photographer commit suicide? China, 1989. Tiananmen Square in Beijing. About 1 million of people were demonstrating against the government's corruption, the military law, the lack of freedom of speech, the limited career prospects. The protests were violently struck down by the military forces. Foreign journalists were expelled, and the coverage of the events was strictly controlled by the government. And here comes this picture. The image of the tank man became a symbol of non-violent resistance. Questions. Who was the man dressed in a white shirt? Why is he holding a shopping bag? What is he doing in front of the tanks? What happened to him? Was he arrested or perhaps executed? Afghanistan. In the 1980s, thousands of people were forced to move out of their homes and seek refuge in Pakistan, where they settled for years in refugee camps to escape from war, misery, and threat. After the Soviet invasion, entire villages had been bombed and the country was in constant chaos. What follows is the most recognized photograph ever. The picture, titled "The Afghan Girl," taken by the photographer Steve McCurry, appeared on the June 1985 cover of National Geographic. The image of her face became a symbol of the refugee situation worldwide. Questions. Who was the Afghan girl? What does she look like? How long did she stay in the Nazirabad refugee camp in Pakistan? Did she know that her picture was so famous worldwide? 18 years later, McCurry went to Afghanistan to look for the girl. She was found in a remote region in Afghanistan where she had settled down with her family. Questions. What had happened to her all those years? How did she react when she heard how famous her picture had been? Has her life changed after she was found again? was a legendary musician. He became famous all over the world as one of the founder members of the Beatles and for his political activism and pacifism. On 8 December 1980, John Lennon was shot by the psychopath Mark David Chapman at the entrance of the building where John Lennon, Yoko Ono and their son lived in New York. A few hours earlier on the same day, John Lennon had signed Chapman an autograph. Questions. Who was that man? Why did he shoot John Lennon? What if John Lennon was still alive? Our world is not a brotherhood of man as John Lennon dreamt of, but by seeking the truth behind the curtains, we become aware, and who knows, one day we might make it a better place to live.
Living life in peace, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world